Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by GeneralsJoes Reborn.com with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. For today's episode, I'm joined by the awesome Patrick Notpicard Stewart. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, Pat?
It's the Full Force Weekly.
It's the Full Force constantly, isn't it, at the moment?
It is.
And just as we start recording, we've got more news to add to this episode, which is classic McLeod manoeuvres here and classic Full Force manoeuvres. Right, well, I suppose we might as well get stuck in then, Pat, because we have got so much to talk about this week that I can't even do the pleasantries and ask you how you are. It is that important to get stuck in. I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. I don't want to listen to you.
Let's keep going. Good.
Okay, first up, we have Threezero news. Earlier in the week, Threezero revealed an image of their next G.I. Joe Fig Zero 1/6 scale figure, Roadblock. More images followed and pre-orders dropped in all the usual places on Thursday. The figure was a little pricier than the previous offerings of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and came in at $169.99. Still well worth the price tag, however, with a bevy of cool weapons and accessories, including a superb backpack with ammo boxes that feed that insane M2 Browning heavy machine gun. He also comes with a removable helmet and goggles, pistol, knife, grenades, multiple hands, and a bullet belt. He is close to his vintage version 2 design with a number of cool upgrades to the clothing, and he will have soft goods white t-shirt and grey pants. I'm in love with this guy and really think Threezero are doing an incredible job with the brand so far. We can expect them to do even more in the future as they have revealed plans for Lady J, Duke, Scarlet, Firefly, the Baroness and Destro. All pretty exciting. Links in the description if any of you guys fancy another pre-order to add to the list, the growing list. It looks as though he'll be shipping towards the end of the year, which in terms of how toy reveals usually go is not that bad at all. Pat, what do you think of this Roadblock figure first and foremost?
It looks great. It's, many of the same things we've said of the other Threezero figures hold true still. I think that the arms, the way that they're handling those looks really good. And I find it interesting that they decided to include a backpack for him.
I know, it's wicked as well, isn't it? I love how kind of big and chonky it is, and you got those ammo boxes kind of stuck on the side. I'm not I imagine it's one piece, but it'd be cool if those ammo boxes could come off as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. It looks like it's more his version 1 Roadblock weapon that he's carrying rather than version 2. Oh,
100%. Yeah, it's like they're kind of mixing the versions in a sense there, and I suppose it's what people find iconic about him, I guess. The kind of that weapon is always kind of, people have always thought that is his kind of weapon. Do you know what I mean? Because it's bigger, it's heavier, it's ridiculous. The one, obviously the version 2 one is an absolutely stunning with the kind of silver, not silver, but kind of grey silver, kind of the bipod, the tripod and everything. It's wicked, but I think people are more connected to this box with a huge barrel on the end of it, aren't they?
Yeah, I would agree. This is the one that he's seen a lot with in the comics, so I can definitely see why they would choose to include this.
It'd be nice if they'd thrown in the both big heavy weapons, wouldn't it? It'd be nice if we'd got that kind of huge, I'm not even sure what that is. It's not an M60, is it? It feels,
I have no idea. I'm sure there's somebody that could tell me, but I don't know from guns.
Let us know, because I can't remember what it is. And I used to know. I used to look them up and see what the real world ones were, or as close to as possible. Anyway,
he comes with sunglasses. I see he comes with a helmet as well.
Oh, sunglasses! Yes, good point. That is something I missed in the little intro. He does come with sunglasses, which is adorable. I think it's because when they do the loadout, the kind of picture of him standing with all of his gear, I think because the shades are quite a dark colour, he kind of merge into the black background. So I think that's why I missed that out when I was reading off the weapons and accessories. But yeah, he comes with shades, which I guess is a nice little kind of nod to all the shades he's been given in classified series and in the comics. Yeah, obviously he's worn shades in the past, so it's kind of a nice little addition that they've thrown in there.
Yeah, it's a good-looking figure.
It really is amazing, isn't it? Is this something you'll be getting involved in?
So far, I haven't been buying these just because of the expense of them and, needing to
Get over the core
watch.
character hump.
Well, no, not really, because I kind of think that some of these core characters they've done have been pretty good.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's not just one or two of them, it's a little bit of a weird thing with me. Like if it was just a one-off or, you know, two figures that they'd offered, it wouldn't feel as substantial or as much of a thing to even get into.
Yeah.
But then once they get a bunch of them going, it's like, oh, now they're getting expensive. You know, it's starting to add up fast.
Yeah.
So I think I might, but I'm not sure which one of the ones that have been shown. I mean, that I should jump into. Maybe Destro.
Well, Destro, I haven't done that. Well, yeah, they'll be doing him eventually. Yeah, definitely down the road.
Yeah.
Obviously they did release plans, didn't they, for like Duke, Scarlet, Lady J, Baroness Firefly, and Destro. They've shown off concept art for Lady J and Firefly, which makes me feel that those two will probably be next. Like we might see Firefly next, then we might see Lady J or vice versa. But I could definitely see them doing those next, especially considering what they've actually... And also what I really like was the fact that all the concept art so far they've shown is effectively what looks like input work, doesn't it? Because it's all almost... I can't see any differences really between the concept and what they're revealing.
Yeah, so it seems like maybe we've already seen some things then.
Yeah, like with Lady J and Firefly especially. And again, things could change. They could kind of do like different things or add other elements to them, and it's not like they're showing everything in that concept art, but it is pretty cool to at least see the base figure, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Lady J actually does look kind of decent, but I'm sure that from what we're even seeing here, she would have a lot more accessories than this.
Oh, totally. And obviously all the spears are going to come into it, aren't they? And all that. Yeah, that'd be wicked. I'm excited to see what I've really been impressed with what Threezero are doing, honestly, and I've been excited at least just to see what they do. Do you know what I mean? Even if I'm not necessarily going to get on it every single time, which I'm up to.
Are you?
2 Snake Eyes and a Storm Shadow is what I'm up to. I didn't get in on the winter camo Storm Shadow one yet, even though that is the one that you'd think I should be all over. Like that is like literally the version 2 homage in a sense, in a weird way. But we'll see how it goes. This Roadblock,
maybe I should go for Baroness, because if I end up getting a Destro if they do one, then Baroness obviously goes well with Destro.
Well, they're both on the list, so I can't wait to see. I'm sure they'll reveal concept art at some point down the road. Considering they've revealed stuff this early on, I mean that was months ago they did that blog post, which is really cool. Anyway, really awesome figure. Love this Roadblock. Think he's incredible. Love the head sculpt as well. I was surprised there was only one head. I was expecting a couple of alternate options, but I kind of feel like I don't know. The figure's just got a lot of personality to it, and I really like that. Like what they've done with the kind of almost like a a frown, like a little bit of a scowl going on there. I think it's really dope. Anyway. That is Roadblock 3.0 news. Next up, and we have a little bit of Toy Fair news. After the disappointment of having to cancel the event this year and last year due to COVID, the Toy Association has set the new dates for their New York Toy Fair in 2023. Typically, the event is held in mid to late February, but in 2023 they are moving it to September the 30th to October the 3rd. This new date will likely put it right before another big event, New York Comic Con, which also takes place in October. While the 2023 dates for New York City Comic Con have yet to be announced, this year the event will take place on October the 6th to the 9th. Both events are held at the Javits Center. Whether this will force some toy companies who generally attend both events to choose one or the other remains to be seen. You can read the entire press release by following the links below. Pat, surprised at this move? Does it bother you that they are shifting a rather big event from the start of the year?
It does kind of feel like it's Toy Fair 2023 and a half. It's so far from February that it just doesn't feel like the time that we should be seeing things from Toy Fair. And I do think that people are going to be divided between Toy Fair and New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're hoping to do. I don't know why they would be hoping to kind of take away some of the success of New York Comic Con, but maybe they're not. I don't know. I don't know what the point of this moving the date is. Maybe the center just isn't available anymore in February. This
That
could
is
be the
possible.
first that they're able to get in.
Could be possible at the that they missed. Obviously, with COVID kind of keeping them at bay for so long, maybe there's just been like a big push to get certain events booked, and they couldn't get in time or something. That is a very good possibility. We're still gonna. I mean, as consumers, we're still gonna get things revealed to us. That's not gonna stop. But yeah, there's something about that part of the year, isn't there, where you get almost like every company kind of like saying, here's our plan for the rest of the year, and sometimes a little bit further than that. But you get like a nice insight, you get some really cool reveals, and a lot of cool stuff to kind of like look forward to. And I feel like they're almost like changing the way they do that at the start of the year now, rather than revealing everything. And like also when you think about October, surely that's going to be revealing everything for next year. And you've still got November, December, you've still got like a couple of months left in the year before you're even really talking about that. And if you think about the distance between those events, you've still got another couple of months into the year that they would usually reveal all that information. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's an odd move. I don't know what the point is behind it, other than possibly what you're saying is that they probably just couldn't get the venue.
Yeah, and if they're having that in October, what does that mean for 2024? Because would it make sense to have Toy Fair 2024 in February, like just a few months later?
I don't think it'd happen. I think they'd probably move it and then keep it in that kind of vicinity each time. Or maybe have two. But then if you're having two and they're that close together, it's kind of defeats the object, doesn't it? So
yeah, but it may just be to get the gears moving again, to get the system in place. The fact that Toy Fair was missing, I think, was more damaging to the smaller companies. We discussed that before. And with all the reveals, even if it's back in February, is it going to be the same? Probably not for us, because Toy Fair never really was about revealing. Well, I mean, it kind of did become that, but it wasn't originally about showing things off to toy collectors. Showing up and showing the entire G.I. Joe line and all the Transformers and all the He-Man.
Yeah.
That wasn't what it originally was. But over time, we've started getting a lot of those reveals online. And I think that revealing things online and putting up the pre-order has been successful, and probably more successful than showing an entire year's worth of product at Toy Fair and just having us expect it to come out and having those things that they were forecasting for quite a ways away,
it's like
be changed or canceled.
It's like they are training the customer, the consumer, to get into this new rhythm, isn't it? It's like a rhythm of reveal, pre-order, and then reveal, pre-order. Like before, obviously, you get the product in hand. They want to stagger it, I guess, so that you're at least getting things eventually as you're getting the reveals and the pre-orders in. So they're almost like training you to go like, well, you got to get the pre-order in. If you don't get the pre-order in, you might miss it. And then 3 months later, it's everywhere and you still haven't got it because it's, they haven't shipped it to you yet. Obviously, there are kinks in that system at the moment. But I feel like they are training us as consumers to get into this new way of doing things. And like you said, just literally dumping everything out there for us to see is kind of defeats the purpose a little bit of this new training method that they've been, what feels like marketing have been trying to do to us for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now. Yeah,
and I don't know if that's going to make sense then to show off everything all at once. I don't think that it will.
That is a very good point. They might like use it to reveal some things, but I don't think it's going to be like the same as it has been in the past.
I think that
recent past.
I think that at most what we would find out is information from some of the licensees.
Yeah.
We would find out that Jada Toys kind of information that we found out before and those things. That's the kind of stuff that we would go, oh, G.I. Joe has all that stuff as well right now. But I mean, those are things that they can throw into an announcement. They have, in a reveal, or a, Fan First Friday or whatever they may call it. But I could see Toy Fair kind of being useful to get an overview of things for the year too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. Probably Toy Fair is just going to be good for revealing things from smaller companies.
Absolutely. Revealing and smaller in the same sentence. I've heard that before. Right, let's... look at Pat's disappointment. Right, let's move on to the next segment then, Pat, the next news story. And that's in Icon Heroes news. Yes, Icon Heroes have dropped new pre-orders for some brand new G.I. Joe merch, a vintage Destro card art mousepad, and a pin set featuring the Crimson Guard and the Cobra Officer. The mousepad costs $15 and will be shipping very soon, and the pin set will set you back $30, but you'll have to wait for Q4 of this year. Pat, are you into either of these, or are you feeling the merch overload at this stage?
I think that I was feeling the overload whenever they offered the first set of pins that I didn't buy. But I don't think that these are a bad thing. No. Pins have become really popular, and they keep moving along with some of the characters that, you know, are not the core character hump now.
I like it. I do like they went with the Crimson Guard and the Officer. That's a nice couple of a nice little kind of pairing there as well. Because I guess like a Cobra Officer and Cobra Trooper together would have been a bit too samesies, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's going to be army building pins. I don't think.
You never know.
I have 100.
Could you imagine? That would be so weird. How would you even display the army of pin just on your bag, just like a crap ton of Crimson Guards? Now that's what I want to do. Thanks, Pat. Why do we talk about this stuff? It just puts me in dangerous places. There's not really a lot to go into here that we haven't already gone into when discussing. See, you're even bored talking about it. That we haven't gone into detail with Zaymot and Tomax mouse pads, Cobra Commander mouse pads, other pin sets. You know, the links are in the description, guys, if you want to jump on them. And do we need to go into any more detail? I will actually ask you a question about this, Pat. What would you like to see, a little 2-pack pin set, what would you like to see them do in the G.I. Joe universe that hasn't been shown off already? And it's got to be deep. It's got to be really a horrible deep cut that only 3 people know about, that I will struggle to find an image of, and I'll message you about it later about 3 a.m, and you'll be like, I don't think I have a picture of that. And then, I'll edit the episode, I'll post it, and then 3 hours later, Adam Riches will go, oh yeah, I've got a picture of that, and then he'll send it, and I'll go, it's out, the episode's out there now, so that's what's going to happen, isn't it, in the next few minutes? Maybe
I would say and this is weird, this is not even what product they are having. I was going to say the tracking thing that Duke has in the mass device.
Oh my goodness.
Instead of it being a ring, have it be a pin. But honestly, I'm only saying that because that was the only weird thing that came to mind.
What, where you put that
and I'd rather have that as a ring.
Where you put that little bit of whatever they put behind it to block it from...
not the headband.
That's what I thought you were talking about, the headband. And that's why you said...
I'm not talking about the headband.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the tracking ring.
Oh my God. Okay, that is a deep... Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's not too deep of a cut. I mean, anything for the mass device is pretty well out there and has been watched a million times by everybody.
I thought you can say a couple of unreleased characters would be pretty cool. I'd like to see...
Unreleased characters?
Ghost Henchman. And what was the other one they did in that set? You know, the concept case... kind of Arashikage, Tales of the Arashikage, or whatever it was, Legend.
And Beast Ninja? You want a Ghost Henchman and a Beast Ninja
pin set? How
pin set?
Would that not be the dopest, coolest thing ever?
It would be definitely out of left field, but those characters did exist at retail when you think about it.
Yeah, what's his name? Because I was going to say Microforce got
the Microforce. Although the Ghost Ninja was the leader of the Ghost Ninjas or something like that in Microforce, right? Because it wasn't quite the same one.
Ghost Ninja Leader or something like that then?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
I think so.
I love Microforce. I know it's a bit of a tangent we're going on here, but Microforce was one of my favourite little things to collect. I found them so freaking adorable and so much fun.
Yeah. So maybe I should even go more obscure into things that people argue aren't G.I. Joe, but I say are, and just pick some Action Man characters.
Brilliant.
It'll be Nuck and
Natalie Poole.
Natalie Poole, sure. Yeah, sure. That works.
There you go. There's a good couple of images I can actually find. Thank you. Right.
I have a Natalie Poole, actually.
Yeah, that's yeah. The only I don't
But
have.
can you find this image? Actually, there's a variation on Natalie Poole because some of them have an Action Man logo on them, and some of them don't. Have fun finding that.
Do you know, Pat? I will just Photoshop it out because that's how lazy I've gotten now. Right, on to the next news segment before Pat drops me in it one more time. And it's actually, it's not the last bit of news, but it's news that's actually sort of broken as we started recording, as per usual. And that's in Super 7 news. Super 7 are at it again, this time with a super deep cut homage relating to a Gung-Ho led PSA about a group of boys who don't want to let a girl skate with them. With Gung-Ho's encouragement, don't judge people until you give them a chance, the boys relent as the girl shows them what's up. Yes, Super 7 and Strangelove Skateboards have collaborated to bring us a one-of-a-kind skateboard featuring a top design taken straight from the skateboards in that very episode, and an underbelly design that is pure gung-ho, complete with the tattoo, teal and green camouflage deco, and the quote that I recited at the start of this segment. It became available to order when we started recording this episode, Friday at 9am PT, 12pm EST on super7.com, and not only did they reveal the skateboard, and that will be $70 if you do want to buy one, they also revealed an entire range based on the G.I. Joe public service announcements. But not just the PSA, they call it the PSA collection, but it's also based on the Fensler films. And obviously we are recording this on April Fool's. We were kind of contemplating whether this was just one big joke or one big complete, lie. Clearly it's not, because you can go in there, order them and buy them on the site. And now if they do go through with this and send you like nothing and take all your money, then it is one of the biggest April Fool's jokes ever, and I don't think would go down very well. But within that group of amazing products, we have 2 reaction figures, one of Roadblock version 1 from his body massage, Fensler film, famous for that one, and Mutt from I'm a Computer, the Stop the Downloading, one of my favourite ones. I'm a computer, stop the downloading. It's amazing. Both of which are $18, and they're up for pre-sale right now on the site, link in the description. Like I said before, as is the skateboard. You can also get a body massage t-shirt with Roadblock on it, which is just amazing, for $30. A G.I. Joe trucker hat with body massage on it, which I am eyeing up for $30. I think I might have to try and get hold of that somehow. And a couple of G.I. Joe enamel pins at $15 each, one that says body massage and one that says I'm a Computer. Pat, is this the most genius marketing maneuver in all of human history or not?
Yeah, they're really leaning into the joke on these and doing it pretty well. I enjoy reading the file cards. Seeing Roadblock mentioned as a tactical massage therapist. Did you see that yet?
This is amazing.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
And speaking of, we talked about the Threezero figure having kind of a scowl. This one has the opposite. He's got like this smile going on. And it's cool. I mean, I don't think that we've seen these characters yet from Super 7 in the reaction form. So it's fun to be getting a Roadblock and a Mutt, and that this is the first ones that we're going to get. Instead of him coming with his big machine gun, he comes with these.
It's a big
grabbers.
Pincer. Yeah, it's a big kind of pincer, isn't it, for the electrical things, the downed lines, right?
Yeah, I don't think electrical lines actually do that. Well, I guess if they're sparking against the ground, they might.
Mate, I don't blame you for going against, it's a cartoon. Like, I totally understand that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're doing that in the episode, and he uses the pincers to deal with them. What actually is making me think a little bit further beyond this. Do you think they're going to do all of these in reaction? Do you think we're going to get all of the kind of Fensler film parodies of the PSA figures? I
think pork chop sandwiches is a shoe-in. Beyond that, I don't know. I don't know how many others.
Don't give him the stick. Snow Job. Yeah, we can get that one as well, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we'll be getting all of them, but I'm sure that how many of them we get depends on the success of these. Which I think that the fact that it doesn't just say GI Joe at the top and it says body massage,
Oh,
unless that's part of the joke.
the T-shirt glows in the dark.
You know what? I haven't seen that.
The T-shirt glows in the dark, everybody. Drop everything you're doing and make sure you go and buy a body massage T-shirt that glows in the dark.
Wow. You know what? I didn't even scroll down. I saw the two figures and then I saw the skateboard, which we're, I think, going to talk about that we've already seen.
Yeah. I mean,
But I didn't
I'm kind of...
see the other stuff.
We'll get to everything, but guys, the T-shirt glows in the dark. Come on, Super 7 are like the best glow-in-the-dark company ever, aren't they? All other glow-in-the-dark companies have just gone, thanks, McLeod.
Yeah, hopefully it glows as well as their figures do.
Andrew Frank showed me his glow-in-the-dark mutagen man the other day. It is unbelievable, and that sounds really dirty, but I'm talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figure, not the nickname for his junk. But yeah, it glows in the dark, and it is unbelievably cool, that figure.
Well, the Snake Eyes that comes with the sled dog set. Yeah, that one, it glows really well too, and it doesn't look like it's going to glow red whenever you look at the figure, but it does.
That's amazing, isn't it? Like, I'm so happy this exists. What we're looking at today, what a brilliant thing to release as a collection of ridiculous things. Super 7 are doing the Sunbow Joe brand so right, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that we actually talked about this.
Yeah.
I think that whenever it was announced that Super 7 was going to be doing these kind of things, I think that in that discussion, whether or not it ended up in the episode, I think that we talked about the fact that Super 7 had done the laughing He-Man meme, the laughing Prince Adam, and that maybe we would be getting some of the weird stuff and maybe the Fensler films. I may have even said, no way they're ever going to do them. But I think that we talked about them.
I think you're right. But I do vaguely remember us talking about, well, you talking about pork chop sandwiches as well. So yeah, this is great. It's just Super 7. We literally just congratulations on doing it right. Now, we've also got, other than the reaction figures, the skateboard, the glow-in-the-dark T-shirt, which is insane, the trucker hat, which is cute as well, 2 enamel pins. Let's talk about the skateboard, because obviously the rest is pretty self-explanatory, and you can, again, links in the description if you want any of these. The skateboard is real. When they revealed that as the teaser the other day, it was instantly recognizable. You could tell what was going on there, but still, that is the last thing I would have expected them to do. Just completely, wow. They've just gone deep, haven't they? And gone well, let's do some really ridiculous things that no one will ever think that we will do. And Bosch, we've got a skateboard that is, one design is literally the one that the kids are riding on the skateboard, and then you flip it over and you've got Gung Ho on the bottom. I mean, it's genius, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that this is not the first skateboard we've seen for G.I. Joe. This is not the first licensed skateboard, because there were some from Loyal Subjects, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to go out and say that I think that this is the best skateboard that we've seen so far for G.I. Joe, because it's in-universe. It's, well, maybe not the bottom of it, unless those kids happen to be huge
Classified fans.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, totally. Because
maybe after they saw him, they took their skateboard and painted it.
Do you remember what he said?
Yeah,
he said something about don't judge people, and yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, and they're scribbling it down like perfectly calligraphing it on the bottom of their skateboard. I can see that happening in G.I. Joe.
In that world where G.I. Joe members are somehow also celebrities that children are aware of. I don't know whether they watch them on TV.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I don't understand how that works.
Doc, what are you doing standing outside our toilet window watching us in the bathroom? What are you doing, you dirtbag?
Right. What if that's the actually what he's like, his card art? That he's just like there in the window looking at you.
I kind of feel like that has to be a set. It can't be like one figure. It has to be Doc, the kids, and like almost like a bathroom diorama or something. Do you know what I mean? Like a full-on, like the Arctic mission, like the Arctic Rescue Sled set, but with, you know, Doc looking through a bathroom window. How funny. Medicine cabinet. Oh my God, that would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. But yeah, I mean, there are so many bonkers things they could do. I can't see Super 7 revealing their own medicine range with Doc's face all over it, though, can you?
No, I can't see that. But they're definitely doing some weird stuff.
I'm excited for the pork chop sandwiches they release, and actual pork chop sandwiches. That'd be great. Yeah, this is great. This is fantastic news. Super 7, like I said, have dropped this whole PSA collection on their site. Link in the description. Guys, it's hilarious. Get involved. I'll be doing a news burst following this, just to talk about it with the you know, the audience, as it were. Right then, Pat, let's move on, because this is genius. It doesn't really need much more coverage, does it? Let's talk about classified news. We had quite a few sightings this week in regards to the classified series. First up, In Demand Toys, based in the UK, dropped a very cool video showing off a shipment of classified Tiger Force Outbacks, Python Patrol Vipers and Bats that came through the store for pre-order fulfillment. They didn't show the Vipers on video, but they also did have those as well, off screen. They didn't get a huge amount, so they could only sort a few early pre-orders out, but more will be coming very soon, so have no fear if you have ordered from them. On top of that, the classified Cobra Officer was spotted in a number of GameStops across the country. However, they were put out too early, and those who tried to purchase them got the dreaded street date block, and that was that. The street date for the figure was set at August, which we feel is probably only a temporary thing, and we'll probably see them a lot sooner than that on shelves. Pat, excited for getting these so soon?
Sure. I think that of anything, the last couple of years have been about patience in getting the things that you've pre-ordered.
Damn right.
So I just still am not thinking that I will be getting mine right away, and that's just kind of how it is. But yeah, I'm curious to get these in hand. It'll be fun.
Are there any in that lineup? Because obviously we've got Crocmaster, which is kind of shown up weirdly at a Walmart, which I still don't believe. We've seen, obviously, In Demand Toys. Let's just quickly say that they are a reputable source, and they actually order through Hasbro UK, so they're getting that stock now, which does, like, it insinuates to me that stock is coming through. It's coming through the system, and we're going to be getting it in the US very, very soon. We have seen, obviously, that one post where a guy got 4 Python Vipers by mistake through Amazon, which I still think, I just don't believe is what I'm saying. I kind of feel like that was probably more a dodgy purchase somehow from the Far East direct, and was kind of passed off as an accident, so that questions weren't asked, should we say. That's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, we saw all the stuff that went down recently with Mattel and the Jurassic Park stuff, and that's a little bit different because Mattel is trying to protect their relationship with Universal regarding Jurassic Park. But we've definitely seen some toy companies not embracing things being shown. Actually, in that situation, it was more things being shown quickly, but arguably not early.
Oh, yeah.
Because images had gone through official channels. Purchases had been made through official channels. So that one was a little weird. But, you know, I think that some people maybe have just been playing it safe and wanting to show some stuff that they had gotten.
Look at my cool stuff before
unofficial channels.
Look at my cool stuff before you got it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But like, it's interesting as well that the Cobra Officer popped up. We've had, I think, Storm Shadow Spirit and the Cobra Officer have actually found a few people have actually gotten into hand for a few people, either through early pre-orders coming in from different. I think like Dorkside Toys got a few out, which was amazing. And then like there's some other kind of channels as well where people have found them. So it's interesting that those are still struggling to kind of get out there. Crocmaster, I had an email pushing it, like my I think a Pulse pre-order, pushing it to like September or something like that. But again, I think these are kind of like, they're giving us maybe some worst case scenario padding, is what I'm thinking. Because if we're seeing the Cobra Officer in GameStops, honestly, how much longer down the line do we expect them to be on shelves? Like, it can't be that much longer, can it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know what, did they say what the street date was?
If they said August, they didn't say what they didn't give. Well, didn't hear what the exact street date was. Just that it was August, which seems a little bit too far away for me.
Yeah, it just, some of these the street dating and things is also a little bit strange, just because it feels like companies are assuming that everybody has warehouse and stockroom space for everything.
Very true.
No matter how much stuff that I street date, you can't put out this stuff that's just then going to be sitting there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird. In order to get the supply chain moving, maybe some things sitting in stockrooms just need to be set free.
Also, it doesn't seem like, considering some stores will sell them anyway somehow, and people will get them early, and it just seems like, well, if people have them in hand, why not just get out what's out there? Just get it out. Get it gone, get it selling, and then, like you say, like relieve that pressure of that kind of momentum, I guess, of everything coming before.
Yeah, it does create a little bit of a panic, though. Whenever just a little bit is available.
That's true.
Then you have the speculators jump in and they start buying it, but they don't really want the stuff. And so it creates just distribution issues. Unless it's like, okay, all the stores have it. Okay, now everybody go ahead and sell it. Yes, you can just go to Walmart, or go to Target, or GameStop and buy it. It's fine. It's there. And I think that may be part of what the street dating is just to get it all in hand. But like I said, if the Cobra officers are actually sitting in stockrooms everywhere, then what's the point? Just let us have them.
Yeah, come on, guys. This is like unprecedented times as well. And let's face it, it's probably not just G.I. Joe figures in the back that are sitting there not going out because of shelf dates. It's going to be loads of stock. And like you say, like not every store has got that amount of space to deal with that. And it's like, yeah, I'm not, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But I'm still surprised they just don't go, okay, let's just get this stuff out there. Let's face it, the whole let's wait to get all the pre-orders done. Let's wait to get all of the shipments to all of the different, companies that we've got relationships with kind of goes out the door when someone's got it in hand in like Wisconsin, or someone's got it in hand in California, and it's like going all over the place, and people are like, wow, where'd you get it? What's the location? And flooding it. And I feel like that's more panic than just getting some of that stuff out there.
Yeah, and we also experienced this quite harshly with those first couple of waves of Target exclusives where the street date changed, or the information on Target's Twitter was different than what was on the box. So changing a street date once it has been set, it's kind of hard. Yeah,
and if that's the thing, when I worked at retail, you didn't always get the memo, or you did, but you weren't always paying full attention. Or
the specific person you talk to whenever you happen into Target may not have been the correct person. And sometimes street dates are physically on the box.
Yep.
But in the computer, now they've been updated.
Yeah.
So
I also feel like that's part of the store manager role too, because I don't think that just because it happens as a company-wide thing, I don't think it just immediately disseminates to every single store necessarily, because the information might, but I still think the store manager has to do something. That was the case when I was at Toys R Us. Like, if information came through, this is new stuff we have to implement, right? Like, from on high. And if it was stuff like, this is coming out now, this, like the G.I. Joe stuff in Rise of Cobra, for example, we had that in the back storeroom ready to go, but we couldn't put it out yet. But we knew, we were told, and we had the information at hand. And then when it was the day, I knew the day, obviously, by heart, because I was desperately wanting to get that stuff out there and put it on the shelf and everything. And so, like, but it's only like the action figure team that really know about that. Not the bikes people or the electronics. They don't give a crap about what's in the action figure thing, because they've got their own stuff to think about. So, yeah, if you bump into someone in, like, a Target and they're on, like, they have a more general knowledge of what's going on. But when it comes to specific toys, you kind of have to have experts in there in a weird way. Or people that know what they're doing specifically for that. Because I've asked loads of people and just got different answers from like 6 different employees. And it's like, I get it. I totally understand. Because like I said, when I was at Toys R Us, we were on the same page to a degree. But like after a while, there's like, yeah. And if the store manager has to do something electronically, then if they haven't done it, then it doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works. If Well, I don't know, because
They have
at
their
the
own
Target near
electronic.
me,
They have their own electronic internal system. So I'd imagine
they
if they
do.
did change something, it should disseminate throughout all the stores. But
I think it does,
but
because at the Target near me, I really wanted to get the buzzworthy Bumblebee, where Bumblebee transforms into a Cybertronian form from the first episode of Transformers. I was really on target for that. And I ended up showing up every day, I think, for 9 days, starting like with the days that people started talking about the street dates being broken, because they started showing up, I want to say maybe 3 days before
yeah,
they were actually supposed to be on sale. But where it started to become frustrating was the days that I went and it wasn't on shelf and it was street dated and there was a person there. I said, hey, do you have this? Because it's supposed, it's the street date. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have it out, but I am allowed to sell it if it is. And they said, oh, yeah, that's in stock. And the website indicated that I could just go and pick it up in the store, but it wasn't physically there. And they kept on telling me, well, just go ahead and come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. And I talked to the person who was the manager of the toy department. And he just, on one of those days, he just straight up told me no, that he didn't want to sell it yet. And it's just like,
okay,
I don't know. So I don't think that he would have set in his system a thing that said the street date here is such and such.
Yeah.
That's what it comes up as on their computers when I typed in the product number. I don't think that he would have changed that street date, since he just didn't want to sell it
exactly. Yeah. I would also add as well that marketing who deal with what's going out on Twitter, what's going out on Facebook, information that's going to kind of customers a little bit, like in emails and stuff like that, they're not always necessarily in sync with the tech people who are implementing this on the system necessarily, especially in a big company. That must be like it might like steering a bloody tanker sometimes, isn't it? Like, it's not something that you're just going to be like, right, send an email, do this, and it's going to happen. Like, it has to, it goes through a lot of different phases, I guess, at the big companies. So yeah, and obviously when you're talking about a big company, their main priority is not just G.I. Joe at all. They've got so many different brands to deal with. G.I. Joe's just one of them, and probably not even one of the biggest ones necessarily. So, it's all about the priority in that sense. So there's us kind of going, well, you told us it was going to be here. You told us it was going to be this at this time and this date. Why is it not here? It's kind of like, I think I've just got to the point now where I'm like, well, I just don't expect it to be there. If I see it, I'm going to be over the moon. But if it's not there, I'm there for other things half the time anyway. So it's not a big deal. You kind of have to get out of that, almost get out of that mindset of like, okay, so they've told us this is what we need to do and this is where we need to be to get it. And it's just not really the case, is it?
Yeah, it can be frustrating, though, especially being told, hey, come tomorrow. Like those last few days, I remember being told it's just sitting in a box on the shelf. We're, resetting our toy department, but definitely where it is, definitely tomorrow. And I was told definitely tomorrow so many times. And I was like, come on. But eventually I got it. And then eventually one of the other stores got so many of them that they went on clearance, and I got another one.
There you go. And then that's the thing, isn't it? It doesn't rain. It doesn't rain. It pours. And then all of a sudden, 2 buses come along at once. What? Right. Okay. Well, that basically brings us to the end of Pat and I moaning about our terribly difficult lives when it comes to toy collecting. Next up, and in actually rather really sad news. It was really sad to hear of the passing of Garry Leach on Tuesday, the artist behind some absolutely incredible pieces of Action Force art in the pages of Battle Action Force was only 67 years old. I imagine most Action Force fans will recognise the work he did on these awesome pieces from 1985, which were made into old school 3D toy ads and posters. Our thoughts are with his family at this difficult time. Rest in peace, Garry. You will be sorely missed. We were doing really well there for a few weeks, weren't we, Pat? And then, it's like I said, we kind of had this conversation a little while ago, didn't we, about you get to that kind of point in your life where a lot of the people you looked up to as a child, well, when you were a child, start to pass away. And it's kind of been happening quite more frequently than we'd like, obviously, the last couple of years, hasn't it? And obviously the last, 6-7 months a weekly. Is we've been doing this far too many times and we need to.
For sure. It's a shame to see people go. And I think that for the era of Action Force that you've shown, you sent along some of the work that he had done. And I think that, you know, for me, going into Action Force a completely different direction than you did, which was not totally online, but most of the material that I saw was from online, because I'd known about Action Force, you know, well before I had internet access.
Yeah.
In like the 90s, early 90s. But this stuff is all stuff that I saw. Whenever I saw it online. And I think that one of the key images that made me really feel the difference between G.I. Joe and Action Force is that image of Mail Away Grunt.
In the kind of dungeon kind of lockup type scenario. Yeah, it is so harrowing, that image. But yeah, like you say, it's like really powerful.
It is.
That's the thing with Garry's work, wasn't it? It was like there was so like there's so much like darkness to it as well. Like if you look at that the Zartan one I've got is a bit kind of, you don't really get the same effect because it's the 3D version, but the kind of like the flatter version, like the kind of 2D version, is so creepy. You've got like you got Paddy Lennon's face hanging off a tree. I'm kidding. You know, his like mask. And then you've got Zartan like up in like almost like the Predator, like, you know, camouflaged in the trees. You can hardly see him. It's just really, really cool stuff that he did. And yeah, like that grunt image is kind of harrowing, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, his backpack is there. I'm sure it makes sense for the art for his M16 to not be there, but his backpack is kind of featured. Yeah, and then just like that silhouette of a couple of rats that both seem to have an interest in Grunt. You know that they're just kind of waiting for him to pass so that they can. It's like this is a very rough, like very, you know, you feel the danger that he's in. It's like, man, I need to mail away to get him out of there.
I know. I think that's what the point was, wasn't it? It's like to set him free almost, wasn't it? Yeah, really awesome, interesting marketing. You can definitely, like, the difference between the kind of US and the UK in terms of, you know, the way kids' toys were kind of advertised is pretty interesting, I always find, especially at this era. Like I said, there's a lot more kind of bleak imagery than there is in, like, you know, we also had our, like, fun, explosive action shots and stuff, but, like, you know, definitely this is something that I always remember Palatoy and, you know, Action Force and that era especially. I always remember these kind of images. What I loved is you can see Garry's put his signature on this particular piece on the pillar behind Grunt, as well as like almost like it's been scratched in from someone else that was there before. You know, I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's a neat way of doing it. I'm looking at the one for Zartan, and he's just signed that one more traditionally in the left. But I enjoy whenever the name is just kind of written in some sort of clever way.
Yeah, like added into the story, woven into the story in a sense, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I also like how literal he is in some of the situations of how he has drawn the toys, like the seat from the Sky Striker, like the spot where the string is.
Yeah.
The lines around, it's straight up just like kind of like the toy in action. Yeah. And also the chameleon swamp skier, the way that it breaks down, it looks just like the swamp skier in there.
I mean, he was just direct reference, wasn't it? It was like, right, I'll do exactly as the toy suggests. But yeah, really love that. And if you've got any of those old school kind of 3D shades, which I've got loads of, like back in my storage in the UK, I used to collect, well, not used to collect them, but we used to get them so often in like comics and stuff like that, yeah, if you've got a pair of those, you can actually make them using, you know, those bits of plastic, and then obviously make yourself a pair of shades out of them. I've actually done that as well in the past. I think I did it with sweet wrappers, believe it or not. We used to have these roses that came in, I think they were roses, that chocolates, that came wrapped in these like see-through plastic kind of, you know, paper. And you could fold them out, stretch them out, and put them in front of your eyes to actually get the same effect, because you could get like blue and red ones. Or sometimes like kind of green and red, I think it was as well.
It'd be handy to have a full sheet so that you could lay that down on a scanner and filter out one of the two colors and then scan the 3D pages in without one of the two in order to you know, easily Photoshop it, because it's hard to do that in Photoshop once it's already scanned.
Yeah, you can actually get the original versions of these as well. They just did them as 3D pages as well. But this this particular like I said, we've got those posted on the Facebook page, and I think I posted them on Twitter as well. But you can actually you know, find that post, and if you've got those glasses, you can actually see them in 3D. It's really fun. And anyway, yeah, like obviously Garry Leach, absolute legend. The guy did so many awesome pieces, not just for GI Joe, well, not just for Action Force, I should say, but you know, 2000 AD, he was like an absolute legend. Dan Dare, just so many amazing things that he's done as an absolutely extraordinary artist, and he's going to be sorely missed. Our thoughts go out to Garry and to Gary's family and friends, and yeah, rest in peace, bud. Hey there guys, just wanted to let you know about an app that I've been helping to develop for a few years now called Hoarder. But what is Hoarder, I hear you scream? Well, a number of years ago I discussed a project with a good friend of mine and now co-owner/developer about an app that could help collectors of all shapes and sizes. I'm talking about the shapes and sizes of the collections really, but also people. The app would be a place where you could share your new items, build collections and sub-collections, or just browse the feed to see cool things. Well, we made it. We tested it for a number of years, and now it's out there for you to enjoy on iOS or Android devices. You can upload a single item at a time at your own pace and slowly build your collections. You can post status updates that could be related to your collections, like getting a delivery or posting a scene in which you can tag items in that image if you've uploaded them in the past. You can add tags to your items in order to easily search for and find them, and of course to add them into your respective collections. You can like posts, comment on them, or start a conversation with a fellow collector, directly message users you follow, and even add items you see on your feed to your want list. If you prefer to use your computer or laptop, have no fear, you can use the website browser version and even utilise the awesome inventory option, allowing any user to change certain details, add notes, upload bulk items from spreadsheet files, and download a CSV of your entire itemised collection. We made this app for collectors, and we hope that you enjoy using it as much as we enjoyed creating it. Now get to hoarding. Right, on to shout-outs then. Pat, take it away. What are you going for? What are you going with first this week? Phil, perhaps?
Yes, shout out to Philip. Thanks for picking up that articulated points where he assembled the Snake Eyes figure.
So good.
It definitely was, you know, answered a lot of questions I had about that particular finished figure and what it looks like, how it functions, and also the precaution about the ankles. I thought was a thing that you should, if you're going to buy it and assemble it, listen to Philip's warning.
Yeah, heed his warnings.
Yes.
It's also like, I've seen it loads, by the way. I've seen it all. Every Target I go to, there's like a couple of them there. It's really nice, actually. The last couple of visits to random Targets I've been in, I've always seen G.I. Joe product. And you have no idea, well, you do, you have some idea, of how good that is making me feel about the brand. Because usually it's like there's a line out, still nowhere. You can't see it anywhere. Do you know what I mean? But at least now we've got all these multiple different companies using the brand. Super7's always on the shelves. Classified stuff is always dotted around as well. Last time I was there, it was packed. It was like a whole wall, and it was classified figures of multiple different series. It was Super7 figures, like pretty much the whole wave, and it was the Flame Toys, Motorcycle, and Snake Eyes. And I was like, what is this world we're living in where I go into a Target and there's a wall of G.I. Joe stuff? How is this happening now?
Yeah, it's really nice. I even saw that figure in a hobby shop.
Yeah.
So it's like G.I. Joe's out there in other areas, not just a wall at Target, which is not something we had a few years ago, but also in other places. It's kind of nice.
I haven't been to Walmart in ages. I kind of want to pop in just to see what it's their like section looks like. But usually when I go into the Walmart near us, it looks like a literal tornado has ripped through it.
Well,
like,
do you have a pile of movie Snake Eyes figures that you could put together?
Just throw on the ground as well.
Yeah, if you could dent some of those boxes and put them up, maybe sometimes, maybe place them here and there. That's kind of what Walmart looks like right now as far as G.I. Joe.
And then throw a random Series 1 Cobra Commander in there as well, just for fun.
Yeah.
That's what I see every now and again.
Yeah.
And like 20 Jada Toys minifig 6-packs as well.
Oh, yeah. No, they don't have... The ones I go to don't have those anymore.
What did they have? They had the little vehicles, didn't they, for a while? Like the big, like a lot of them.
Oh, they still have every Walmart that I go to. If I wanted to go buy the Jada 3-pack, yeah, I could go do that right now at Walmart. I don't want to, only because I already have
like 20 of them already. Yeah,
yeah.
It's cute to actually army build them a little bit, because those vehicles aren't necessarily just one-offs, are they? At least you can kind of
no, that's true.
A little team. What I've been doing, which I find quite funny, and this is a shout out to Diana Davis and the team at IDW. Sorry for boring you there, Pat. I know you're exhausted. I'm just joking.
Long week, yes.
I know. Because Saturday Morning Adventures is issue 2 is out now as well. I've got the classified bat, but then I've basically put all these little vehicles around him, and these little figures, like the little metal figs around him, in like a little display on my desk here to kind of recreate what is going on in that amazing comic right now. So if you haven't got it, guys, make sure you go out and get issue 1 and 2 of Saturday Morning Adventures. It is brilliant, and it continues to be brilliant. So there's a shout out for Diana Davis and of course the team at IDW who are working on that. You're doing a great job on that issue, guys, on that series. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Any other shout outs for you, bud? I hijacked yours.
Well, we need to shout out the Kickstarter.
Yes. So what was that? Yesterday, Thursday, as obviously we're recording this on a Friday, you'll see it tomorrow. Saturday. God, that's confusing for everyone, isn't it? Yes. Even though I say that every time and everyone knows, I still make it more complicated than it needs to be. Kickstarter Volume 2 of Total Action Force is live. You can jump on the link in the description below and you can pledge right now. We did a great news burst live yesterday with Paddy and Brian, and just barring a few technical issues where Paddy disappeared for a few minutes where his internet failed him. But yeah, it's great. They took us through all of the different aspects of the book, all the different pledge levels, and if you're having you're trying to work out what the best level is for you, you can check that episode out, and they'll take you through everything that actually each level does, and what you can expect going forward with the backer kit and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, it's doing great at the moment. Currently, it is at let's see. Yeah, we've broken 100 backers. There are 101 backers, pledged 18,825. They are cruising at the moment to halfway. So considering it's only been a day, that's pretty good. So fingers crossed they can keep that up and keep the momentum going. Get your pledges in now. Obviously, it makes more sense to do it right this second than it does to wait till the end. It just makes more sense. You can always, say for example, you get in now. You're not paying anything until it funds officially anyway. So get in now, get that pledge going, and yeah, there you go. That's all I'm saying about that. Anything to add on that, Pat?
No. Well, other than the first book being so good that getting this one is just a sure thing.
Definitely. I love I will say though, one of the pledge levels is completely done now, and that was they had 10 of them, and that was the HMS Flag pledge level, which was like the book, but then all the other things that you were going to get with all the other levels, and then this brilliant mail away fan club Action Force paraphernalia. From back, vintage stuff, sealed bag Cobra Commanders, hooded, and then all of the brilliant paraphernalia you'd get with Special Corps, with the birthday card, the dog tags, the watch. There's so much cool stuff in there, guys. So they've all gone now, unfortunately. So if you did manage to get in on that, well done. But there's plenty of other pledge levels to get this book, and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. There's no doubt about that. Right then, yeah, cool. Okay, well, I've got loads, unless you've got another one, Pat.
No, I think that we can hear what you have to shout out.
Okay, this is going to take about a month, but as always, big shout out to all the family and to my wonderful wife, Kate. Love you all. To Brian Sauer for the awesome graphics, as always. We always love those. Shout out to Lou Stringer, the artist creator responsible for Combat Colin, a comic strip that first appeared inside the pages of Action Force Weekly issue 5. They celebrated 35 years on Tuesday, which is awesome. If you haven't read Combat Colin, then you need to search that up quick, and you need to follow Lou Stringer on Twitter and any other socials that he's on. He's brilliant, and it's just so cool. I love that comic. It's so much fun, and obviously was a massive reason for really enjoying the Action Force Weekly as well. Also, big shout out to Robert Atkins and Adam Riches for getting more of their awesome work in the Renegade Game Studios RPG core rulebook. They combined for this awesome page of a motor viper sneaking around the Joe's motor pool. Great job, lads. Really excited to kind of get stuck into that RPG, honestly. Shout out to my birthplace, Germany, for getting their own dedicated Hasbro Pulse website. Hopefully there will be more to follow in the future for those feeling left out. I know there are quite a few countries getting a rough deal when it comes to getting their hands on the product at all, even after paying extortionate prices for shipping and for the figures themselves. Hopefully you will get yours soon, whatever location you find yourself in currently. I'm hoping for a Hasbro Pulse Pawtucket at some point, just literally this address that I'm the only person that uses it. Speaking of, I guess, what do you call them? Kickstarters. Also, another reminder that the SKELETRON backer kit is still open and will close on the 30th of April. Still plenty of time to make your final decisions on that, but again, you can find the link in the description if you need to make changes or add anything. I've already shouted out IDW for the Saturday morning adventures, but I'll also say that Diana Davis revealed 3 special variant covers, which are still to come. Special because they are drawn by the original storyboard artists / editors, Will Munio, Larry F. Houston, and Rick Hoberg, with colours by Cullen Davis as well. They all look great, and you can expect to see them used for issues 3 and 4 as variants, Bs, Cs, and I think retailer incentive covers. And finally, shout out to G.I. Joe en España for their incredible book series on the Spanish releases of the G.I. Joe toys throughout the vintage era. Their pre-order period came to an end on Thursday evening, so I hope they got a ton of orders because those books look absolutely gorgeous. I'm getting mine delivered to the UK, so I'll be checking those out next time I'm in Blighty. To our patrons, listeners, and viewers, thank you for all the incredible support. Patrons, I still owe you a couple of episodes soon. It's just been a crazy busy week, and in a second I'm going to have to do a news burst live anyway. So you know what? It's ridiculous. Pat, buddy, thank you for joining me for this episode. Really appreciate it, pal.
It's always fun to be on. I appreciate being on again. Thanks.
Lies! Unsubstantiated fantasy! I force him to do this. Right, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure, but yeah, we have reached the end of the episode. Thank you for watching the Full Force Weekly. Massive thank you to my awesome co-host, Patrick Notpicard Stewart. See you on the next one. What is it, Pat?
It's the Full Force Weekly still.
Keeping you on your toes.
We covered this.
Keeping you on your toes. Yeah, we covered this at the beginning and the middle and every 4 minutes of the...
And weekly.
And weekly.
It's the Full Force Weekly.
It is the weekly, my man. What do we do at the end of every episode after 3? 1, 2, 3.
Full Force! You waited on me that time, didn't you?
I did a little bit, yeah. I did a little bit. But it worked. It worked perfectly. And less work for me to do. So, yay. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.